everyone, I'm Noreen and welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to be trying a new bread recipe today, and I thought I'd go ahead and have Rick do the video because, you know, even if it doesn't come out so good, you know, we'll all learn from the practice anyway. So we're going to make some buttermilk bread today, and it's like, you know, I like, when I go to the grocery store and I have to buy bread because I'm out, or we have to buy bread for some function or whatever, I always like to buy a farmhouse buttermilk loaf that has as few preservatives as possible if I'm going to be making sandwiches or toast or whatever. So I thought I'm going to give buttermilk bread a try, and this is how I'm going to do it. I have a lot of ingredients out here, but a lot of you are already going to have these things on hand because we're going to be using buttermilk powder from our food storage. We're going to be using butter powder from our food storage. Maybe something you don't have, which is totally optional, is semolina flour. We're going to be using just a cup of that. You don't have to use this. You can just use regular flour. Yeast, sugar, regular butter, and then I have some regular all-purpose flour and some white wheat flour that we're going to throw in here. And we're going to do this and we're going to see how it's going to turn out. So what we're going to start with is in the bowl I have 2.5 cups of water. So we're going to use a tablespoon, which is 3 teaspoons, plus a teaspoon. So 4 teaspoons of yeast. Okay. And then we'll put the sugar in. Sugar. What I am making here is enough for 2 loaves. What I'll do is I will post the recipe on my website for a single loaf, so that if you don't want to make 2 loaves, you can just make the one. And I'm getting ready to sneeze. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so then we're going to do 1/4 cup of sugar. I have 6 tablespoons of butter here that I softened in the microwave. A little bit too much, but that's all right. It'll be fine. And then we're going to use our buttermilk powder. I'm using 1/2 cup of that since I already have a dirty 1/4 cup measure. And we're going to use 2 tablespoons of butter powder. I'm going to transfer that into a plastic bag so that I don't worry about that while it's inside the can. I know you can leave it in the can like that, but transferring it into a Ziploc and then putting the Ziploc back in the can, sealing the bag, and that gives me a little extra assurance that it's going to stay fresher longer. So what we have in here now is water, sugar, yeast, buttermilk powder, and butter powder. We're going to use some salt. Do a healthy teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to put our flour in. And what I'm going to use, let's put our semolina in first. I'm going to use 1 cup of semolina. Semolina flour can be found just wherever the rest of the flour is in your grocery store. This is the type of flour that they use in making pasta. Go ahead and put that in there. It's made from a hard durum wheat. I think it's hard. And then we're going to add I'm going to add 5 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. Okay. That's 3. And a little bit more. That's 4. I'm going to leave it right there. Scotty, get out of that box. It's for your Auntie Bev. Now you stop that. Here, you want to get in the box? Get in this box.
You don't think Bev would want an orange kitty?
I don't know that customs will allow him to go through. All right, we're going to pop this right on the mixer with the dough hook. And then we're going to look at it and we're going to see where we are texture-wise, whether or not we need to add more flour. It's always a good idea to hold off on some of your flour that the recipe calls for until, to account for weather conditions and the moisture content in your flour, etc. So we're going to see what this looks like in just a moment. Get this all mixing well. I'm going to go ahead and put that last cup of flour in here. It's always a good idea to back off on that last cup, just so you know. And then it'll clean off the sides. It's going to hydrate that flour. There we go. Pop it up to a 2 and get that kneading really well. And give it one last assessment before I start the timer for my 7-minute knead. It smells really lovely. And always remember, the semolina that we put in there is going to take a little while for that to absorb the moisture. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and add another half a cup of flour. That might just do it right there. All right, I think I'm going to call that just about perfect. It's starting to clean the sides of the bowl. It's not sticking to the bottom as much. We're going to give this some time. I'm going to knead it for 7 minutes. When it's all done doing that, we're going to come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, I just wanted to come back and show you. I actually did end up adding a total of 6 cups of all-purpose flour in there. I added 1 last cup after I left, but now it looks perfect. Exactly the way I want it to look. And we're going to knead this for 7 minutes, and then we'll come right back. We just took this off the mixer, and I'm just going to remove the dough hook. And I tell you, this dough is yummy. It feels really good. It's soft. You know when they say how it should be soft like a baby's bottom? That's what this is. This feels yummy in your hands. All right, honey.
Hey. Like Spink and Spooky.
Yep. Something like that. All right, now I'm just going to get my my oil mister here. Give the inside of the bowl a good spray. I think there's safflower oil in there. Give the top of the dough a good spray so it doesn't dry out. And go find something to do for an hour.
Like Watch Revolution.
Like Watch Revolution, yes. That we recorded last night. In peace and quiet, without the interruption of pesky teens. All that. I'm sure there'll be plenty of interruptions from the pets, but alas, we can't do anything about that. All right, so this goes take a nap for about an hour, and then when it's time to shape and rise again, we'll be back. All right. We watched Revolution, and boy, is it good. And if you don't watch this show, I highly recommend it. Rick, don't poke the dough. How old are you?
An attractive nuisance.
I know you're 47, but really, how old are you? 12. Let's deflate our dough. This is really beautiful dough. Oh, it smells good, doesn't it? Mm. You can get that air out of it.
And that's going to smell amazing when you start baking it.
It is. It's going to smell really good when it starts to bake. All right, let me get my dough scraper here.
I want bread and butter for dinner.
Is that all you want for dinner, honey?
Me?
My job is done. Okay, so this is for 2 loaves, so... Okay. Let's see. About right? Only one way to find out.
Really?
Really. Let me reach in my magic cabinet here and see if I can extract my scale. Oh, here, let me have... No. Wait! Alright. Let's see how much this weighs. It should be about 2 pounds.
Yeah, 1 grams or something.
It's 3 pounds, 15 ounce, so it's 15.3 ounce, 4 pounds. All right, so what do I have it right now? £2, 0.5 ounces. Really? There we go, right there. I love my scale. All right, so. Let me do this one first. Really, all you have to do is shape it nicely. I have a standard 9x5 bread pan. I'm going to give it a good coating with my oil mister. I like to press it down in the pan like this. And the other thing too, I don't wash my bread pans. When this bread comes out of the oven, I will remove the bread from the bread pan. I will allow them to cool and I put them away. I don't wash them. I keep them in a cabinet that is clean, so you know, you can think that that's gross, but you know what? If you go to a really good French bakery, a lot of times they don't even bake their bread in pans. They bake them loose. They break them shaped. They bake them in different type of situation. Oh, my dough got a little bit wet. Don't want that. I'm going to do this. I like it a certain way, so you can just shape it, and when it gets to where you like it, you'll know. And on the bottom, you're going to have a bit of a seam, so you always want to make sure you pinch that. As you shape it, it should kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say wear out of it, but you know what I mean? You're going to work it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and press it in the pan. And this is just going to, I think it gives the bread a better dome shape in the end if you start with a flat piece and then the bread kind of rises up like a traditional loaf. So let's cover these up. Oh, first I want to oil it just a little so it doesn't stick to the bonnet, because once this rises it can have a tendency to want to stick to plastic. So this is just going to assure that when you take the plastic off, you're not going to mar the pristine surface of your bread dough. Pull this inside out, that's why. All right, we're going to let these rise. I'm going to turn my oven on to preheat to 350 degrees. I'm going to put my bread loaves on my stove, and I'm going to let them rise for about a half an hour. When it's time to put them in the oven, I'll come back and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, our bread is ready to put in the oven. I'm just whipping up an egg white with a little bit of water. It's like 1 egg white and a tablespoon of water. Preheated the oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to gently take these off. They look perfect. And I'm going to grab a pastry brush, and I'm just going to gently brush the top of these loaves. Don't press down too hard or you'll lose your loft. Okay. I'm just going to sprinkle the tops with some oats. I'm going to do that over the sink. You can do it with whatever you want. You want sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds or flaxseed meal or whole flax seeds. Up to you. I just thought oats might be nice. It makes it pretty, and it adds a little extra fiber to your bread. All right, now let's pop these in the oven. Ooh, I'm sorry, honey. Like I said, 350 degrees. Put them as close to the center as you can without them touching. And they're going to go take a nice nap for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to put some foil on top and bake them for another 15. So when it's time to put the foil on, we'll be back. Okay, it's been just about 20 minutes. They look beautiful, but they still need to cook more on the inside, but we don't want them to over brown on the outside. So the solution for that is going ahead and just putting a piece of foil over the top of these and closing the oven and baking it for another 20 minutes. Okay, so we're going to put these in for 20 minutes. When they're ready to come out, we'll bring you back and we'll show you what they look like. I'm going to go pick up Micah from school. Okay, I am going to take this out of the oven now, and I had to go pick up Molly from school, so what I did was I just turned it off and I left it in the oven, and it's probably still a little bit warm, so I'm going to use these. It's not that bad. I probably could have taken them out. So let's see. I'm going to take these out of the pan. See what they look like here. That's pretty.
Maybe it should have done over the heat though.
Well, it cleans up, right? It all cleans up. See? And I just wipe these out with some paper towels and throw them away. I don't wash them. And that'll probably drive me up the wall, so it's a good thing it's close to the sink. I should have put a pan under it, but let's cut into one. Which one?
Don't care.
Okay. Let me
Both are pretty, so.
Let's see what it looks
I was gonna
like.
take the ugly one, but the both are pretty.
Let's see what they look like on the inside. Oh boy.
Very nice.
Never cut your bread when it's hot. Oh wow.
But this one's the best.
Look at that. That's a pretty loaf of bread.
Yes,
It's got a beautiful crumb.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Get a shot of that. So, all right, let me grab a knife. Let's see.
What is it about bread?
I don't know, but when it's, you know, warm from the oven, there's
Fresh baked bread, yeah.
and this is nice and soft. This would make a lovely sandwich bread. There you go, honey.
Oh, I was going to the whole thing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Tastes like. Oh wow.
I'm just having that for dinner.
This worked out really well. The flavor is outstanding. Wow. You've got to try this bread. It's positively fantastic. After it cools all the way, it'll be a lot easier to slice and make perfect sandwiches for lunches. Or anything. I'm probably going to have to fight my husband to not eat the whole thing. Seriously, before supper. So, that is how we make some buttermilk bread. I hope you try it. I seriously hope you try it. I hope you love it. And I'm so glad you stopped by and did this with me today. I'm going to put the recipe on my website. That's www.noreenskitchen.com. Until next time, I'll see ya.